Eat to Beat Disease by William W. Lai, MD. Introduction. Imagine for a moment that inside your body, right now, a silent war is being waged. Microscopic cancers, tiny clusters of rogue cells, are forming constantly. It happens to every single one of us, every day. Up to 10,000 mistakes can occur in our DNA daily, making these tiny tumors not just common, but inevitable. And yet, most of us will never know they're there. Why? Because your body is a fortress, armed with a set of powerful, natural defense systems that are hardwired to protect you. These systems are so effective that they can starve these tiny cancers, repair damaged DNA, regenerate organs from the inside out, and deploy an immune army to wipe out invaders before they ever become a threat. For decades, we've been told that health is simply the absence of disease. But what if that's not the whole story? What if health is an active state, a dynamic, moment-to-moment battle fought and won by these incredible defenders? This is the revolutionary idea at the heart of Eat to Beat Disease, a groundbreaking book by Dr. William W. Lai, a world-renowned physician and scientist. Dr. Li isn't just another health guru. He's a Harvard-trained researcher who has spent over 25 years at the forefront of medical innovation, leading a foundation that has helped develop more than 30 FDA-approved drugs and therapies that have impacted millions of lives. But through his work, treating patients ravaged by cancer, heart disease, and diabetes, he noticed a recurring, almost desperate question they would ask him. After receiving a terrible diagnosis, after hearing about the surgeries and medications, they would turn to him and say, "Hey doc, what can I eat so that I can help myself?" For a long time, like most doctors, he didn't have a good answer. Medical schools, even the best ones, offer astonishingly little training in nutrition. So, Dr. Li embarked on a journey to find the real, scientific answers. He and his teams began studying food with the same rigor and technology used to develop life-saving drugs. What they discovered will change the way you see your dinner plate forever. In this summary, we will journey into the heart of your body's 5 great defense systems. We will uncover the surprising, and often delicious, foods that can activate them. And by the end, you will understand a profound truth. You are not just a passive victim of genetics or bad luck. You are the commander of your own health fortress. And the most powerful tool you have to fortify its walls is your fork. Book summary. So, what is this fortress I keep mentioning? Dr. William Lai invites us to reimagine our bodies. Instead of a fragile machine that breaks down over time, think of it as an ancient, brilliantly designed castle, protected by layers of clever, built-in defenses. Health isn't about avoiding invaders, it's about having defense systems so strong that invaders don't stand a chance. The book reveals there are 5 core defense systems, and they are the common denominators of health. Let's explore them, one by one. Our first defense system is called angiogenesis. It's a fascinating process, and it all comes down to blood vessels. Imagine a sprawling network of highways and roads, 60,000 miles long, coursing through your body, delivering oxygen and nutrients to every single cell. That's your circulatory system. Angiogenesis is the body's process of growing new blood vessels. When it works perfectly, it's a master builder, creating new pathways where they're needed, to heal a wound, build muscle after a workout, or even create the placenta to nourish a new life in the womb. Your body maintains this system in a state of perfect balance, something called homeostasis. Not too many blood vessels, not too few, but just the right amount. But here's the twist. This life-giving system can be hijacked by disease. Those microscopic cancers we talked about, they start out harmless, smaller than the tip of a pen. Your body's healthy angiogenesis system keeps them in check by naturally starving them of a blood supply. As long as they can't recruit their own private network of blood vessels, they can't grow, they can't invade organs, and they can't spread. They remain dormant, and your immune system can eventually spot them and clear them out. But if a tiny nest of cancer cells manages to overwhelm this defense, it starts sending out signals, tricking the body into growing new blood vessels directly to it. Once that happens, a tumor can explode in size, growing up to 16,000 times bigger in just 2 weeks. The same blood vessels that feed the tumor then become an escape route for cancer cells to metastasize, or spread throughout the body. And it's the metastases that are most dangerous. This isn't just about cancer. Excessive angiogenesis, too many abnormal blood vessels, is a common denominator in over 70 different diseases. It's linked to the vision loss in macular degeneration and diabetes, where tangled vessels leak and bleed in the eye. It's involved in arthritis, where destructive vessels invade our joints, and even in Alzheimer's disease and obesity. On the flip side, sometimes the problem is insufficient angiogenesis, not enough blood vessels. As we age, our circulation naturally wanes. If you get a blockage in an artery in your heart or brain, your body's defense is to try and grow new natural bypass vessels around the blockage. If it can't do this effectively, tissues can be starved of oxygen and die, leading to heart attacks, strokes, chronic wounds that won't heal, and even hair loss. So, the goal isn't to just stop angiogenesis, but to keep it in perfect balance. And this is where food comes in. Dr. Lai reveals that foods like soy, tomatoes, green tea, and even red wine contain natural bioactives that act as angiopreventive agents. They help your body prune back excessive blood vessels without harming the healthy ones. And other foods, like barley, can help stimulate blood vessel growth where it's needed, like in a struggling heart. We're not overriding the system, we're helping it maintain its natural, healthy equilibrium. The second great defense system is regeneration. Your body is constantly rebuilding itself. Your intestines regenerate every few days, your skin every 2 weeks, and even your skeleton is replaced about every 10 years. This incredible power comes from our stem cells. We are literally made from them. As an embryo, a small ball of stem cells morphed into every organ and tissue in our body. As adults, we still have about 750,000 of these remarkable cells distributed throughout our bone marrow, lungs, liver, and nearly every organ. They are our body's internal repair crew. When you get injured or a disease strikes, your stem cells swing into action. They receive distress signals from the damaged area, mobilize from their hiding places called niches, travel through the bloodstream, and home in on the exact site of injury like a guided missile. Once there, they can transform into the exact type of cell that's needed to repair the damage. If they land in the heart, they can become heart cells. In the liver, they become liver cells. The power of these cells is astonishing. Dr. Lai cites a landmark experiment where pregnant mice had heart attacks. Scientists discovered that stem cells from the fetus in the womb actually migrated into the mother's bloodstream, traveled to her damaged heart, and began regenerating it. This shows just how deep our regenerative programming runs. But just like our other defenses, our stem cells are vulnerable. Lifestyle choices can either help or hurt them. Habitual smoking, for instance, depletes your reserves of stem cells and reduces their ability to function by almost 40%. Heavy drinking impairs them, making them less effective at regeneration. And diseases like diabetes are absolute stem cell killers. High blood sugar cripples their ability to repair our organs, which is why diabetes leads to so many complications like heart failure, kidney failure, and chronic wounds. On the other hand, when we boost our stem cells, the health benefits are profound. Studies show that people with higher baseline levels of circulating stem cells have a significantly lower risk of having a heart attack or stroke, and a much lower risk of dying from one if it does occur. This is where your diet becomes a powerful tool for regeneration. The book reveals that certain foods can actually mobilize our stem cells, boosting their numbers and performance. We learned about a study where patients with heart disease who drank a high flavanol hot cocoa for 30 days actually doubled the number of stem cells in their circulation. This effect was comparable to taking statins, a common cholesterol-lowering drug. Other foods, like fish rich in omega-3s, mangoes, and even some teas, can help our stem cells protect our heart, regenerate our brain, and keep our bodies regenerating from the inside out. But there's a dark side to stem cells. Just as normal stem cells can build healthy tissue, a mutated rogue version called cancer stem cells can build cancerous tissue. These are the dangerous seeds that can initiate tumors and cause them to come back after treatment. Amazingly, Some foods contain bioactives that can specifically target and kill these cancer stem cells without harming our healthy ones. The book points to studies on purple potatoes, walnuts, and green tea, which have shown the ability to suppress these deadly cancer-initiating cells. So, with our diet, we can nurture the good stem cells and fight the bad ones. This brings us to our third defense system, one that lives inside of us, the microbiome. You are not just human. You are a holobiont, an ecosystem walking around. Inside your gut and on your skin, you are host to around 39 trillion bacteria. For a long time, we thought of bacteria as dirty germs to be killed. But science is now revealing that the vast majority of these microbes are our allies, working in sophisticated ways to defend our health. This inner ecosystem influences almost everything. Some gut bacteria produce neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine that affect our mood. Others help control abdominal fat and protect us against diabetes. They are deeply connected to our other defenses, influencing angiogenesis, stem cells, and especially our immune system. In fact, a huge portion of our immune command center is located in our gut. The diversity of this ecosystem is a hallmark of health. Like a dazzling coral reef, the more numerous and diverse the species of bacteria we have, the healthier we are. When these bacteria digest the food we eat, particularly fiber, they produce beneficial byproducts called short-chain fatty acids, or SCFAs. These SCFAs are like little health potions. They have anti-inflammatory properties. They can lower cholesterol. They improve our ability to metabolize sugar. They boost immunity, and they guide angiogenesis. This is why feeding our bacteria is so important. They eat what we eat. The book explains two main ways to do this. We can eat probiotic foods, which contain live, healthy bacteria. These are found in fermented foods that humans have been eating for thousands of years, like yogurt, sauerkraut, kimchi, and some traditional cheeses like Parmigiano Reggiano and Gouda. When you eat these foods, you're directly adding new, helpful citizens to your inner community. We can also eat prebiotic foods. These are typically high-fiber foods that we can't digest ourselves, but our gut bacteria love them. Think of prebiotics as fertilizer for your inner garden. Foods like pumpernickel bread, kiwi fruit, beans, and walnuts are fantastic prebiotics. When you eat them, you're fueling the good bacteria you already have, helping them thrive and produce those wonderful SCFAs. Conversely, an unhealthy diet wreaks havoc on our microbiome. A Western-style diet, high in animal protein and fat but low in fiber, can starve the good bacteria. Dr. Lai describes a sobering study where mice were switched to an unhealthy, low-fiber diet. Not only did their beneficial bacteria plummet, but this scar on their microbiome was passed down through generations. By the fourth generation, over 70% of the original healthy microbes were gone, extinct. This shows that our dietary choices don't just affect us, they can impact the health of our children and grandchildren. Our fourth defense system is our very own genetic blueprint, DNA protection. Your DNA is the source code for your entire life. It contains the instructions for making the 10,000 proteins your body needs to function. Yet, this precious blueprint is incredibly fragile and is under constant assault. Every single day, your DNA sustains more than 10,000 damaging events. These can come from external threats like UV radiation from the sun, radon gas from the ground, or chemicals in our environment. But damage also happens from internal processes like inflammation. So why don't we all just fall apart? Because our DNA is hardwired with its own defense mechanisms. The first is a powerful DNA repair system. Think of it as a crew of microscopic maintenance workers constantly patrolling our genetic superhighway. When they spot a broken or mutated section, they use molecular scissors to snip it out and replace it with the correct sequence. This system is incredibly efficient, preventing the vast majority of errors from ever becoming permanent. And food can help this repair crew. Dr. Lai points to research on kiwi fruit, showing that eating them not only reduces DNA damage by about 60%, but it also increases the activity of the DNA repair process itself by 66%. Carrots, too, have been shown to boost DNA repair. Another way our DNA defends us is through epigenetics. This is a fascinating concept. While your core genetic code doesn't change, your lifestyle and environment, including the food you eat, can turn certain genes on or off. Think of your DNA as a massive piano keyboard. You're born with all the keys, but epigenetics determines which keys get played and which remain silent. Healthy activities like exercise and good sleep cause positive epigenetic changes, turning on genes that build muscle or metabolize fat. Stress and toxins can cause negative changes, activating genes linked to inflammation. Foods can be powerful epigenetic modulators. For example, the bioactives in soy and cruciferous vegetables like broccoli have been shown to epigenetically turn on powerful tumor suppressor genes, genes that act as guardians to prevent cancer growth. So, by eating these foods, you're essentially telling your body to play the right music to defend your health. The third DNA defense involves telomeres. Imagine the little plastic caps at the ends of your shoelaces. Those are called aglets. Telomeres are like aglets for your chromosomes. They are protective caps at the ends of your DNA that shield it from wear and tear as you age. Every time your cells divide, your telomeres get a little shorter, like a burning fuse. When they get too short, the cell can no longer divide and it dies. Shorter telomeres are a hallmark of aging. In fact, studies show that people who live to be 100 have unusually long telomeres. Once again, our choices matter. Smoking, stress, and a poor diet can speed up the shortening of our telomeres. But healthy choices can protect them. The book highlights studies showing that drinking coffee and tea is associated with longer telomeres. Adopting a Mediterranean diet, rich in vegetables, fruits, nuts, and olive oil, is also linked to longer telomeres, effectively slowing the aging process at a cellular level. Finally, we arrive at the fifth and perhaps most famous defense system: immunity. Your immune system is your body's personal army, a sophisticated military force with different branches and specialized soldiers designed to differentiate friend from foe. It fights off viruses, bacteria, and parasites. But its power goes much further. A strong immune system can protect you against cancer. In fact, cancer only becomes a disease once it manages to escape destruction by our immune system. Sometimes, cancer cells are masters of disguise. They can cloak themselves in friendly proteins, tricking our immune cells into thinking they are normal, healthy cells. This allows them to hide in plain sight and grow. This is where modern medical breakthroughs called immunotherapies come in. They work by ripping off this cloak, allowing our own immune system to see the cancer and destroy it. Dr. Lai shares the incredible story of former U.S. President Jimmy Carter, who at age 90 was diagnosed with deadly melanoma that had spread to his brain. Using an immunotherapy drug, his own immune system was activated and completely wiped out all traces of the cancer. This shows the awesome power that lies dormant within us. The goal, then, is to keep this army strong and well-equipped, and diet is one of our best tools. The book is filled with examples. Aged garlic extract has been shown to significantly increase the number and activity of immune T cells and natural killer NK cells, the frontline soldiers that fight infections and cancer. Broccoli sprouts can boost the immune response to a flu vaccine. Pacific oysters contain compounds that can shrink tumors in lab studies by activating the immune system. But just like our other systems, immunity is about balance. Sometimes, the immune system becomes overactive and mistakenly attacks our own healthy tissues. This is what happens in autoimmune diseases like lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, and multiple sclerosis. In these cases, the goal is to calm the immune system down. And again, food can help. Green tea contains a bioactive called EGCG, which has been shown to turn down pro-inflammatory T cells while increasing the regulatory T cells that help restore immune balance. This has shown benefits in studies of both lupus and MS. Foods rich in vitamin C, like oranges and strawberries, are also associated with a lower risk of active lupus. These 5 systems, angiogenesis, regeneration, microbiome, DNA protection, and immunity, are the pillars of your health. They don't work in isolation. They support and interact with one another in a beautifully orchestrated symphony. A healthy microbiome talks to your immune system. Stem cells rely on angiogenesis to deliver blood to newly regenerated tissue. DNA protection keeps all the other systems from going haywire. Understanding these systems is the first step. The next is to take action. This is where Dr. Lai introduces his beautifully simple plan, the 5x5x5 framework. It's not a restrictive diet. It's a flexible strategy to help you incorporate health-defending foods into your life. Here's how it works. First, you go through the list of over 200 health-boosting foods in the book and create your own personalized preferred food list, a list of the foods you already know you enjoy. Second, each day, you choose 5 of those foods from your list, making sure your choices cover all 5 health defense systems. Third, you aim to eat those 5 foods over the course of the day's 5 eating opportunities: breakfast, lunch, dinner, and a couple of snacks. That's it. It's about adding good things in, not about deprivation. It's personal, it's flexible, and it's sustainable. By making these small, conscious choices every day, you are systematically fortifying every one of your body's natural lines of defense. You are, quite literally, eating to beat disease. Commentary. As we draw this journey to a close, I want to take a moment to reflect on the profound message at the heart of Eat to Beat Disease. For so long, we've been conditioned to see our health as something that happens to us. We get sick, we go to a doctor, and we receive a treatment. We are often seen as passengers in our own bodies. What Dr. William Lai does so brilliantly is to flip that script entirely. This book is a declaration of empowerment. It tells us that our bodies are not passive victims waiting for disease to strike. They are active, resilient, and armed with an incredible capacity to heal and defend themselves. Health, he teaches us, is not a noun. It's a verb. It's something we do, something we build and maintain with every choice we make. The most powerful lesson for me is the shift from a mindset of fear and avoidance to one of abundance and opportunity. So many health books focus on what you must eliminate, what you must restrict, what you must fear. They create a world of no. Eat to Beat Disease creates a world of yes. Yes to dark chocolate that can mobilize your stem cells. Yes to a glass of red wine that can protect your telomeres. Yes to delicious cheeses that can feed your microbiome. Yes to a flavorful tomato sauce that can starve cancer cells. It turns the act of eating from a source of anxiety into a source of joy and power. And this isn't based on flimsy anecdotes or ancient folklore. It's grounded in cutting-edge science, presented by a man who has dedicated his life to the highest levels of medical research. He takes these complex systems, angiogenesis, epigenetics, the microbiome, and, using simple, beautiful analogies, makes them understandable to everyone. The body is a fortress, telomeres as shoelace caps. These images stick with you and transform abstract biology into tangible reality. So, how can you start putting this wisdom into practice today? First, I invite you to simply change your perspective. The next time you sit down for a meal, look at your plate. Don't just see calories or carbs. See information. See instructions that you are sending to your body's defense systems. Is there color on your plate? Color often signals the presence of powerful bioactives. Are there any of the grand slammer foods Dr. Lai mentions? Foods like blueberries, carrots, nuts, or olive oil that support all 5 defense systems at once? Second, don't try to overhaul your entire life overnight. That's the path to failure. Instead, embrace the 5x5x5 framework. Start small. This week, just pick one food from your new preferred list and make a point of adding it to your diet a few times. Maybe it's swapping your usual snack for a handful of walnuts. Maybe it's adding a side of steamed broccoli to your dinner. Small, consistent actions are what build lasting health. And third, become a curious explorer in your own kitchen and at the grocery store. Try one new vegetable or fruit from the book that you've never tasted before. Look for those standout varieties Dr. Lai points to, like San Marzano tomatoes or Picul olive oil. Turn the act of feeding yourself into an adventure. That was a summary of Eat to Beat Disease by Dr. William W. Lai. We've touched upon the core ideas today, but I'll be honest with you, a summary is like looking at a map of a beautiful country. It shows you the layout, but it can never replace the experience of actually walking its streets, breathing its air, and meeting its people. The real magic happens when you read the book for yourself. It's in the quiet moments, when a particular study or a simple phrase resonates with you in a way you didn't expect. This summary is designed to help you decide if this book is worth your time. If anything we've discussed today has sparked your curiosity, I truly encourage you to grab a copy. Reading it isn't just about learning, it's an experience that can genuinely change the way you see your body and the food you eat every single day. The link to the book is in the description below. Also, if you found this journey valuable, please consider giving this a like and subscribing to Billionaire's Bookshelf. It helps us continue to bring these powerful ideas to more people, and it ensures you won't miss our next exploration into another life-changing book. Let's keep learning and growing together.